Rewind, the show where we explore late 90s and early 2000s pop culture that has impacted me and many others. And on today's episode, we're talking about Super Mario 64.
It's me, Mario!
There are staples in life that go down in history for how defining they were for the said time, even if today's standards far surpass whatever said defining thing may be. Like the first cell phone, or the first car, hot water. In hindsight, these may not seem like a big deal because everybody drives cars, everybody has a cell phone, and everybody uses hot water. This effect also stems into the gaming world. Prior to the mid-90s, gaming was primarily in the 2D realm, but when the N64 rolled around, the gaming industry would be changed forever. You can go check out my video on the N64, the link is in the description. A little game called Mario 64 was released and shook the gaming world. You're saying I get to play as my favorite fat plumber but in 3D? Oh, I sure hope his green hat wearing brother isn't in it because f that guy, right? I mean, nobody likes Luigi, not one person, right? The idea of 3D gaming was still foreign at the time, so in order to make gaming in 3D space a reality, there were some hurdles that had to be overcome. Some of the most important were controlling the character in 3D space needed to feel good and responsive. And then probably the most important was the camera. If the camera sucks, your gaming experience sucks no matter how good your character controls. Well, did Nintendo do that? Is Mario 64 a good game? It sold 2 million copies in North America in the first 3 months and nearly 12 million by the year 2015, making it the most sold N64 game. I think the numbers speak for themselves. I wasn't alive when Mario 64 came out, but it has graced my N64 many a times. But I mostly remember playing it at my grandparents' house, watching my uncles perform cool moves with Mario, and also showing me a bunch of secrets as well. Seeing the things that they could get Mario to do was always fascinating. Mario 64 was definitely one of my favorite games growing up, but that doesn't mean I was good at it. I'm a big Mario fan, and I have been ever since I was little, so I thought why not take a trip down memory lane and relive my childhood with the classic as well renowned and loved as this one. Also, I played the 3D Mario All-Stars version because N64 controllers suck. When you first boot up the game, we are greeted with Mario's big head, and look, we get a mess with his face. I honestly can't think of another startup menu that lets you do things like this. After you are satisfied fondling Mario's face against his will, we are then massaged with a banger of a file select song. Real talk? File select screen songs bang harder than they have any reason to. Now that we've spent 15 minutes not even playing the game, we can jump in and are placed in front of Peach's castle, where we get to dick around and get the hang of controlling Mario in 3D space. For the most part, Mario controls pretty well, with a good range of movesets. Granted, it's a platformer, but this is the first 3D Mario game and it feels natural navigating this new dimension. Mario does feel a bit slidey and also is hard to turn around on smaller platforms. It's super annoying at times and was the fault of many of my deaths falling off of said platforms. You do have to have good spatial awareness, to the point where you have to space yourself out enough to time triple jumps into wall jumps, keeping momentum. Man, there are times in this game where you perform a move to get to a star or a shortcut and you think, wow, I just did that. Now imagine that, but in the 90s. This is a good game. The camera, however, is not. I am very glad that developers have really learned how to nail cameras in video games since this one, because this camera is a doozy. One thing that I always thought was a super cool detail is that the camera is a character that follows you around, and it explains why you are seeing from said angle. Completely unnecessary, but a very cool detail at that. I don't know if it's been done since either. Look, he is really there filming me. You can see him in the mirror. This dude really sucking f***s at his job though. He won't turn all the way around when I want him to. He gets stuck under platforms and I can't see myself. He zooms in when I don't need him to. Partially my fault, but I choose to blame him. And worst of all, he makes a goddamn annoying noise every time he turns. Imagine if we still had these sound effects in games today. In hindsight, the camera is awful, but hey, it was the first of its kind. It's okay, Lakitu, you've gotten better at your job since then. Or did he just get fired? The goal of the game is to save Peach from Bowser by collecting power stars from each of the 15 courses so you can open up doors heading up higher in the castle. Fun fact, Miyamoto actually wanted 32 courses, possibly up to 40, but somebody pulled the reins on him. The concept of this Mario game is simple. You jump into a stage and you collect a star. Instead of trying to traverse courses to reach the end like previous Mario games, you have a bunch of smaller mini goals throughout each stage to complete. Some stars have you solving puzzles with your only hint being the title of said star. It's pretty fun and somewhat challenging trying to figure out each one. I love how they made it so you don't have to collect every star to win either. Only 70 stars are required to beat the whole game, plus you can complete stars out of order. Yep, all those select stars that suck butthole, you can skip them. My least favorite stars were the 100 coins and the 8 red coins. The star spawns right where you've collected the 100th coin, which in theory is great, but that also means that depending on where you are, the star can become unreachable. I, however, never ran into this problem because I didn't try. The 8 red coin star has a specific spawn point, so you can get the star, but you can also die on your way after you've collected the 8 coins to get to the star. Navigating the hub world was a treat. There are plenty of secret stars to find, as well as the colored caps granting you special powers. The flying cap, the metal cap, and the invisible cap. You do have to find these secret hats, but remember, you don't need every star to win, so you can beat the game without even finding one of them. But that isn't as fun. There are lots of fun stars to complete, with shell shredding being one of them. Even back then, Nintendo knew how good snowboarding in games was. The music and sound effects all around are pretty nostalgic for me. Albeit a bit repetitive, I still really like it. Playing through this title as an adult, I've come to the realization that Mario is actually a monster terrorizing all the creatures he encounters. Sleeping piranha plants want to be left alone? Bam! Dead in his sleep. Concrete is sick of being disrespected? Boom! Dead. I'm not going to make a dead baby penguin joke. I won't do it. I refuse. Okay, come on. That one's pretty good. This owl called Mario fat and then dropped him to his death. Oops. The characters throughout are all pretty fun. Definitely something I missed out on as a child because reading is a thing and all I knew was spam A button to continue. You got Goombas, you got turtles that you can jack their shells and shred, snowmen that throw snowballs at you, shy guys that aren't shy at all, you're a lying bitch! And whatever the f this is. My fear of water in video games also comes from Mario 64. This big damn fish eats me in one bite. They put the freaking Loch Ness Monster in an underground cave. Another fun fact, boos are based on one of the director's wife, because she had a blow up once. I wonder if she knows that. There are 15 unique stages to get stars in. The level designs are fun and some even having gimmicks to figure out. Wet Dry World has water levels that can be manipulated in the actual stage, or depending on how high you jump into the stage determines the water level. Tick-Tock Clock can stop time. The Tiny Huge Island is interesting as well. In Lethal Lava Land, you can go inside a volcano, taking you to a whole new area. Big Boo's Haunted Mansion is also cool, with music that is super freaky. This is a kid's game, right? There are plenty of diverse locales for you to explore and find secrets, from sand to snow to lava and even water levels that don't actually make me want to drown myself. Mario swimming actually isn't terrible, plus the music is a bop. Also, slides are fun. You will die lots. The knockback animation was the bane of my existence. A big complaint people share is that the pacing of the game is slowed when you get a star by throwing you back out of the level. Is this padding? Is it limited hardware? Who knows? But this is really only bad in retrospect. I'm sure when the game first came out, no one even thought twice about it. It's just how it was. Bowser's boss fights were not fun for me. I remember as a kid, they were always some of my favorite levels, and I did enjoy the Bowser stages now too, but the fight is lame and frustrating. You grab Bowser by his tail and you yeet him at a bomb. Yeah, I know, speedrunners dunk all over me in every aspect of this game, but so does God. And kids opening up toys on YouTube. What the hell am I doing? I thought I was going to 100% the game, but I remembered I'm not good at video games. Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Road can eat shit. Cool concepts, bad execution. I loved this game as a kid, and as an adult, I would say I still do. I don't think you can argue how influential and important Mario 64 has been for the gaming industry. Mario 64 pioneered 3D games and set an extremely high bar that still puts lots of today's AAA titles' movement to shame. Mario 64 was to 3D games like what Breath of the Wild is for lots of games going open world and trying to redefine their formulas, just on a much larger scale, of course. New standards were set for gaming as a whole and have only gotten better over the years. I really enjoyed playing through Mario 64 again, and there were some really cool moments that I had, but as a much older version of myself, I'm starting to see flaws in this otherwise known masterpiece. Of course, a lot of the criticism comes with the experience and knowledge of better games that has come since Mario 64. I would rather play Odyssey over Mario 64 any day of the week because it's just all around a better game, and if you don't think so, you're kidding yourself. I think it's good to look at things objectively for what they really are. I'm not saying that Mario 64 can't be your favorite game. It's a good game and I like it, plus it's your life, do whatever you want. All I'm saying is that there are better experiences out there that you're missing out on.
The f*** did you say about Mario 64, you little bitch?
It's the greatest game of all time and nothing will ever come close to dethroning this masterpiece for the rest of time eternity.
That's what I thought you said. Mario 64 game forever. Peace out, bitch.